This Civic Media podcast is sponsored by UW Organ and Tissue Donation. Organ donations are desperately needed, and now is the right time to become an organ donor. Talk to your family. Get the dot. Save lives. Go to heroicdeed.com.
This is your WXCO Daily News Roundup for Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 FM and 1230 AM in Wausau.
For WXCO News, I'm Brittany Merlot. Wisconsin ranks 26th in the nation for wind energy, generating far less than neighboring states. Savannah Tomey Olson tells us more.
Wisconsin has about 900 megawatts of installed wind capacity compared to our neighbors who produce more than 10,000 megawatts. Experts say better wind resources in neighboring states and lower solar costs, enticing the state to invest in other projects, contribute to that lag. Wisconsin farms are also smaller than those in the Great Plains states, says Sam Deniski with Renew Wisconsin, which is a unique challenge.
You can't just put two turbines right next to each other, right? The atmospheric dynamics requires a little bit more spacing in between turbines. And in order to do that, you need a little bit more land.
Deniski says the state's wind potential is high, though. Some Wisconsin utilities have already added wind options to their portfolios, and all have set goals to reduce carbon emissions. At least a handful of wind energy projects are planned for the state in the coming year.
And the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection is reminding farmers that the application period for cover crop insurance rebates is open. Here's Lisa Hale.
In partnership with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the DATCP will offer a $5 per acre rebate on their summer 2025 crop insurance premium for acres planted with cover crops this year. The application period opened yesterday at noon and will remain open until noon January 31st. The application and information about the program are available online.
And Wisconsin's two largest children's hospitals, American Family Children's Hospital and Children's Wisconsin, are forming a new partnership to treat congenital heart disease, the most common birth defect in the United States. The new partnership is called Forward Pediatric Alliance. World AIDS Day was earlier this week, and people living with HIV still face lots of stigma, adding to their burden. Savannah Tomey Olson reports.
About 7,400 Wisconsinites are HIV positive. The number of newly diagnosed people hit a 10-year high in recent years. But treatment has come a long, long way. According to data from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, 94% of people got care services they need within 3 months of their diagnosis. HIV and AIDS have been massively stigmatized since they were first discovered in the 80s, which harms the people who need help and support, according to Boston University social scientist Anthony Petro.
When you think about public health itself, it is the application of medicine to a public, and that depends upon us knowing who the public is that we care about.
When they weren't getting support from the government, local activists helped advance the awareness movement. There was no funding for treatment and prevention until medical researchers learned it was a virus.
And a special program aimed at helping Wisconsin residents caring for loved ones hits an important milestone. The Wisconsin Wayfinder program has helped over 2,200 families and nearly 670 caregivers since it started last year. The program, backed by the Department of Health Services, connects caregivers of children with special needs resources and experts. It's designed to help caregivers stay up to date on local services and navigate the healthcare system. If you need support caring for a loved one, find out more online at dhs.wi.gov/WXCO. And the Quick Trip Travel Center and Truck Stop being built in Marathon City opens today. The travel center and car gas station is about 10,000 square feet. It'll be open 24/7 and features a trucker lounge, showers, and fast food. The travel center is located on Highway 107, just north of the State Highway 29 exit for Marathon City. A Marshfield woman has been sentenced to federal prison for cocaine trafficking in central Wisconsin. United States Attorney for the Western District of Wisconsin said that 32-year-old Shondell Moore was sentenced Tuesday by the U.S. District Judge to 12 months and 1 day in federal prison for conspiring to distribute cocaine and methamphetamine. The prison term will be followed by 3 years of supervised release. Moore pled guilty to this charge on August 20th. Back in February of 2022, Central Wisconsin Narcotics Task Force officers began investigating a methamphetamine and cocaine trafficking organization operating in Wausau. And Medicare open enrollment is a prime opportunity for scammers. Lisa Hale has more.
The Medicare open enrollment period is currently going on until Saturday, December 7th. It allows beneficiaries to evaluate and make changes to their Medicare plan. Also during this time, scammers like to target the beneficiaries. Michelle Reinen is with the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection.
Medicare open enrollment is a prime opportunity for scammers at current events type situations, so seniors and caretakers should be cautious of scams and frauds during this time.
Reinen says Medicare, like other governmental agencies, will not try calling you unless you call them first.
The government agencies aren't out there just randomly calling consumers. They'll return calls in response to a situation, but then you aren't going to have to do that verification and hand over your personal information or banking information. And you should report any of those types of situations to DATCAP so we can get the word out that those scammers are circulating in our state.
To report government agency scammers, you can contact the DATCP's Consumer Protection Hotline by phone, email, or through the website. The holiday season is upon us, and that means it's time to get out and see the lights. Holiday displays are lit all around the state.
Fantastic pops of color, a ton of big ones to check out. One that has really been delighting folks for 3 decades is in La Crosse. That is the La Crosse Rotary Lights. And I tell you, this is a trip-worthy destination this holiday season. They have more than 3 million lights that are casting a glow over the entire park.
That's Logan Rogie of Travel Wisconsin. A full list of holiday lights and other events is available on the Travel Wisconsin website. And the Wisconsin DOT reminds drivers the law of the month for December is plan ahead and prevent impaired driving. Here's Melissa Kay with more.
On average, someone is injured or killed in an impaired driving crash every 2 hours in Wisconsin. In 2023, there were over 7,700 impaired driving crashes that claimed the lives of 186 people on Wisconsin roads. With many holiday gatherings and the enjoying of festive cheer, be sure you have a safe ride home this holiday season.
And Visit Wausau has been honored with the Distinguished Destinations Wisconsin Trailblazer Award in Destination Development for their collaborative work on the Great Pinery Heritage Waterway Project. It was presented at the Destinations Wisconsin Fall Tourism Conference. The award recognizes Visit Wausau's efforts in leveraging the region's natural and cultural assets to enhance tourism and create a long-lasting impact on the local economy. The award was celebrated in the presence of Wisconsin Secretary of Tourism Ann Sayers, alongside other tourism leaders. This recognition solidifies Visit Wausau's role in positioning the Wausau area as Wisconsin's base camp for adventure, cultural exploration, and innovative tourism development. I'm Brittany Merlot for WXCO.
The Bucks' winning streak comes to an end. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks lost at home to the Hawks 119-104. That snapped the Bucks' 7-game winning streak. The Hawks have now won 5 in a row. Doc Rivers said after playing the Pistons in Detroit the night before, the Bucks looked tired.
I thought we were dead-legged most of the game. We didn't think well, which is a direct sign of fatigue. Shoot very well. Our passes were really late. I didn't think we passed the ball well at all tonight. We had guys open, and then we passed it. It felt like that the entire night.
College volleyball. 6 players from the Badgers women's team named to the Big Ten All-Conference team. And for the second year in a row, the Badgers' Sarah Franklin named Big Ten Player of the Year. NFL, the Green Bay Packers on Thursday Night Football. Lucas Van Ness before boarding the team flight on what to expect from the Lions and the Packers.
We know it's going to be a physical brand of football. I think over there in Detroit and here in Green Bay, we're both 2 football teams that, want to come out and play a physical brand of football and kind of just dominate you. And we saw that in the first game. And granted, that was some crazy elements that we were dealing with. So I think we're looking forward to getting a second opportunity and proving ourselves.
That's Packers defensive end Lucas Van Ness. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. If you're looking for a new binge-watch gem, it's always good to check award nominations. In this case, the Independent Spirit Awards for the Best TV Show noms include, to no one's surprise, Shogun, which cleaned up at the Emmys earlier this year, the twisted and at times hard-to-watch Baby Reindeer, Atlantic Pictures and BET's Diara from Detroit, and FX's The English Teacher. The National Board of Review has selected Wicked as the best film of the year. Wicked director John M. Chu was also named Best Director by the NBR, and the organization gave a special award to Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande for their creative collaboration. Daniel Craig received the Best Actor award for his role in the film Queer, and Nicole Kidman took home the Best Actress award for Baby Girl. The National Board of Review will hold their celebratory event January 7th in New York City. Do you have an actor you like to watch, even if he or she is in a TV show or movie that isn't great? That's how I feel about Coleman Domingo, who is the star of the show Madness. Domingo plays an outspoken TV personality who rents an Airbnb in the secluded Pennsylvania woods to work on a book, but stumbles upon a murder. He ends up fighting for his life while trying to clear his name after being framed for the crime. I can't give it rave reviews, but it's not a bad thriller, mostly because of the performance of Domingo. Season 1 of The Madness is available to stream on Netflix. Speaking of Domingo, his film Sing Sing is one of 5 nominees for Best Picture by the Independent Spirit Awards. Other nominees include the Demi Moore horror film The Substance, modern-day Cinderella critics' darling Anora, A24's I Saw the TV Glow, and Amazon MGM's Nickel Boys, which will be in theaters December 13th. Many more nominations for many more award shows will be announced right around the corner, folks. If it's huge blockbusters or holiday films you're looking for in theaters this weekend, you will have to see films that are already released. But if you're not ready to throw yourself into the world of holiday films just yet, or are in the mood for some offbeat, quirky flicks, this could be your weekend. Comedy sci-fi Y2K rolls out Friday and takes us back to 1999 when the world was in a panic over what would happen when the clock struck midnight on New Year's Eve. The film follows 2 high schoolers who crash a New Year's Eve party and end up fighting for their lives. If you're in the mood for a Lou Diamond Phillips movie, and who isn't, check out the horror film Werewolves, which also stars Frank Grillo, but has not yet been reviewed, so beware. If you're looking for a comedy horror, the film Night opens this week in wide release as well. The film stars Amy Adams playing a mom who takes time off work to stay home with her kids, but finds herself turning into a dog. I did not misspeak. Despite the offbeat storyline, the film is polling a 63 on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's go to the movies. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Peach Waba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Partly cloudy and cold today, but it is not going to be windy. Our high right around 20 this afternoon. The wind will be northwest at 5 to 15. Tonight down to 7 above. Could see a few flurries overnight. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy in the low 20s. We'll bounce back into the mid to upper 30s by the weekend. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Right now, it's 15.
That's your WXCO Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at bullfallsradio.com. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.